Final Destination Bloodlines. This is the sixth movie in the franchise. I was really looking forward to this movie. The last couple movies, 4 and 5 weren't my favorite. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want to go back and rewatch these movies because I really do like how they are starting to connect these movies. And I had also an interesting idea that this movie kind of played around with. I'll talk about in this review. Went into this blind. I avoided all the trailers and stuff like that. And here are my thoughts. So it kicks off. We're in like the 1950s at some point, and we follow this character Iris, and her boyfriend Paul are going to this restaurant that's like kind of like this restaurant that's called the Skyview or something like that. And this thing is just fear inducing. Like, any type of phobia you could think of, being on this thing is probably like the worst possible scenario. They're like 400 something feet up in the air. The dance floor is see-through, which why would anybody do that? And this is where the movie really kicks off, and we see just how crazy this movie is going to be. I really like this opening scene, the carnage, the blood, the gore. It was excellent. Then they fast forward to present day where we get our main character, Stephanie, and she's having these nightmares where she's seeing the sky view, and she's wondering, how does this connect with me? What does this have to do with me? And she starts to kind of, ask her family, and she's been pretty distant. Like, everybody's been kind of distant. Her mom hasn't seen her since she was like 10 years old, and there's a reason for that. And once she starts to kind of look into her past, and she realizes there's this whole thing her grandmother Iris has been kind of looking into and has managed to survive this long, but now it might have triggered something deadly for the rest of the family. And that's all I will say about the story, because you definitely should go check this out for yourself. They do a lot of interesting twists and turns and things that I wasn't really expecting. Some twists that were actually pretty fucking funny as hell. I really like how they took the premise of Final Destination and made it a family-oriented movie. That was really unique, because sometimes it's just kind of like the same thing. It's like a group of friends. They either go on a plane, they're driving on the highway, or, if it's the third one, they're on a roller coaster and a character has a premonition. But this setup is a lot different, and I think that's what this series needed. And it makes it interesting if they wanted to do like a Final Destination 7, 8, 9, or 10, because now the possibilities are endless. Now, I wanted to talk about the idea that I had before this movie even got announced. I thought that, what would be cool is if Final Destination was like a TV series. You had multiple seasons, you had multiple survivors, and they would come together at like the final season to try to defeat death. There was some elements of that in this movie, and a lot of the deaths were really fucking cool and creative, and just makes you even more paranoid, because now it's just like anything could just trigger that, or just, you don't know when death is kind of looming. I really like Tony Todd's scene. A great send-off for not only the actor, but just his character as well. Was really dope, really heartfelt. But yeah, this was a fun movie, man. Better than I expected. I will say though, I wish, even though I get it, like, you're supposed to have these over the top death scenes, I wish it was a little bit more practical. But I'm still not mad at it, because we had some really cool kills that, like, ended up in like a hospital, or even, cookouts, just anywhere you never know, death could be looming, and that's pretty much like the point with this. I'm really curious to see where they go with this next, because I definitely think that they are not done with these Final Destination movies. I think this movie does a good job of just kicking some new fresh ideas with this series, and it can just go on and on and on. But let me know how you guys feel about this in the comments below. I had a fun time. I definitely want to go check this out again. One of the best horror movies this year. It's still early, we got plenty of horror movies still to come, but this is definitely one that sticks out to me. But till next time, I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.